Hellfire Horror Stories, second episode, where I read D&D horror stories and we discuss them. And we're starting with a doozy.
Oh, yay.
All right, this is a story of favoritism to the extreme.
Oh no.
Oh, I gotta grab a book for this.
That might hit too much to home. What the fuck?
Okay.
I mean, I've been targeted in D&D games, but I don't think I've ever been favorited. Targeted with good intention. I was egging him on.
Okay, so we're gonna go through this and put yourself in the role of the DM. Would you do this?
Okay.
All right. So my current group is around 2 years into our second campaign, and now some issues have arisen. Basically, one of the players has a character that is incredibly stronger than everyone else. After some time, I convinced the rest of the players at the table to talk to the DM and the player about our issues and ask for either a nerf for his character or a boon for everyone else. We talked to the DM first to pick his mind, and he agreed that the character was overtly strong. The last 4 encounters he soloed in 2 rounds each. And he would talk to the player to work on some rebalancing. Then we made a stop to do some in-game training montage. Okay, so far so good.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from letting a player get that powerful to begin with.
Yeah, that's...
But yeah, it got to the point where, we need to talk, and okay, we'll do a nerf on him and a buff on you.
In my opinion, it depends on how long the DM is DMing. If they actually notice that the one singular character is getting way too strong.
That's the thing. I know Vel can wipe the floor with anything. I just find it funny.
Yeah.
I want to see his shenanigans.
And Cassius in our personal campaign being nigh unhittable.
Which means basically it's going to be down to spellcasting saving throw based attacks.
Which is definitely a weakness.
Exactly.
How many things in Curse of Strahd use magic?
Alright. Okay, fast forward to now. We come back from the training expecting some buffs, and this is what we get. I, Eldritch Knight, which, side note, I love Eldritch Knights. If I were to play a fighter, that's the one I'd do.
That was the other one besides Battlemaster that I would have made Ash.
I love it. You get all the core fighter stuff and also some low-level spellcasting as a treat.
It's the perfect beginner character. Intro to spellcasting. Intro to martial classes.
Because, you get the melee. You get the spellcasting. All right. I, Eldritch Knight, get a new skill to try to intercept an attack against an ally within 10 feet.
Protection.
So, a free feat, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
Protected fighting style, where you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage.
Yep. The Barbarian gets a crown that allows him to crit on a 19 and 20. That also gives him resistance to necrotic damage.
Depending on the campaign.
Could be pretty good. Okay, this is my favorite one. Okay, a Monk Druid multiclass. What buff do you think that character got to bring it above standard class level?
Maybe something like brass knuckles or a cool wand staff thingy.
Okay. The monk druid is allowed to reclass to ranger.
The fuck? give me a second. What the fuck?
Depending on the subclass of monk, you were already playing a ranger.
And now the thing is, the problem character that was a Psy warrior fighter,
Yeah, that's a problem character.
which I need to unpack, and it's a good thing you have me here. Because Psy warrior is a thing
Yeah.
from older editions.
I
So
never
we're
really
going
looked at
back to
this
3
subclass.
and 3.5 with psionics.
Yeah.
Back in the day, magic and psionics were two completely different systems. They were cast differently, they had different effects. And so there were classes specifically for psionics. And a lot of them were like, here's the psi version of a wizard, the scion, psi version of a druid, the wilder. But there were a couple of classes that were unique enough that they survived.
Yeah.
My favorite, if I can find it, the lighting in here is terrible for reading.
I could pull up D&D Beyond and see what like the current Psy Warrior is.
26. Okay. So my favorite, the one that I would play, was called the Soul Knife.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, that's a rogue subclass now.
Yeah, that survived by becoming rogue, which is great because all the Soul Knife did was just make it Soul Knife better every.
Yeah.
And so by the time you get to level 20, it's a +5 weapon. But that's all it did.
Okay.
But there was another class, the Psy Warrior.
Which, yeah.
So the Psy Warriors thing is, it's about 75% as strong as a fighter, 25% as powerful as a wizard. You got your melee and a little bit of psionic power.
Yeah, why not?
Come 5th edition, psionics basically just gets rolled into magic. Soul Knife gets rolled into warrior. Guess what happened to the Psy Warrior?
Yeah, almost nothing, I'm assuming.
Okay, so almost nothing. What's your guess?
I'm going with Tempest there.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's in the core rulebook.
Yeah, it's still here.
Okay, another hint. Its name got changed.
No, it didn't. It's still Psy Warrior. It's a fighter subclass.
There
In
is
fifth
a Psy Warrior.
Yeah, it is. In 5th edition, it's
Aw.
still Psy Warrior.
Okay. So anyway, here are the changes they made to the Psy Warrior. All right, Psy Warrior fighter with. They gave it full wizard spell casting progression.
Jesus. That's scary.
Yeah. And, okay, so here are the changes they made. That's what he was playing. For some reason, a fighter with full wizard spellcasting. And, like, of course, the group confronted him about this.
Yeah.
All right, so at the time, he had 15 spell slots divided amongst the levels of spells. And they changed it so instead of, 15, we'll just do 4 times your proficiency bonus. Guess what his proficiency bonus was at the time?
Like 4?
Yeah.
So how many spell slots did he
He
get?
gained a spell slot. He's at 16 now.
Yeah, and the spell slots are no longer divided by level. You could cast any level spell with any slot.
So he
What?
basically just has 16 ninth level spells.
And if the spell was 1 or 2, it was automatically upcast to 3.
What? What the fuck?
It gets worse. If he runs out of slots, if he uses his last slot, he will regain one 2 rounds later.
No way.
I know clerics and paladins have something where they can like regain a spell slot by using like a channel divinity slot.
No, he just gets it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, fighter. He's like swinging and doing big damage in those in-between rounds anyway.
And he gets full wizard progression. What?
Yeah.
Ugh.
And this is 5th edition Psy Warrior, right? That we're talking about?
Except homebrewed.
Okay. So, base game, he also has a protective field to do damage reduction. Psionic Strike, which means he can, like, psychically use his weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And then Telekinesis.
All right, I don't know that. Okay, because apparently the idea of the character was somehow to be a hybrid between melee and ranged combat. I think they were assuming the spells would be the ranged part. And that wasn't happening. He got a new passive in which if he deals damage to an enemy with a melee attack, he gains a charge that grants him benefits.
Okay.
The idea of the charges is you spend them for things to encourage him to ranged attack. Theoretically. And here's how it broke down. If he spends 1 charge, he has advantage on a saving throw.
Not too broken. I would increase that cost, but...
If he spends 3 charges, he gets to summon a powerful vampire to fight alongside him.
No.
What?
No, you can't do that.
Del Tempest, how many times can a fighter do damage again in 1 round?
Pre-2024, Ash could hit 7 to 8 times.
Multi-attack and action surge.
Action Surge. With Echo Knight, you can do Unleash Incarnate, which does another attack.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
not Echo Knight. We're going with Psy Warrior right now.
Ash could make 5 attacks
Even
right
just
now.
basic fighter, that's still multi-attack
Yeah.
and action surge.
And
then
at some
bonus action offhand
level,
attack
there's
with 2 weapons.
there's multiple multi-attack, like three attacks in one round.
But yeah, I do my 3 attacks and then I summon Strahd as my bitch.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
at 5 charges, he gets an extra action for the next 1d4 turns.
That,
way.
no, you have an action search for a reason.
Also, he could trade in charges for more spell slots.
That's. You should have no thoughts to begin with, but that's not the worst of these crimes.
Yeah, and this is where the poster just breaks down. It's like I don't even know what to do or say because like how is this a nerf? I am so angry that after convincing the players to talk to the DM and even going with proposals to nerf the problem character and buff everyone else, this is what we get.
Everyone got buffed, and then he got buffed again.
Yeah. Honestly, I just want to rant because what the fuck? And to top it all, the other player is complaining that we are targeting him unfairly because he doesn't think his character is all that strong.
The monk was able to reclass into ranger, and you're complaining you're not strong.
I mean, an Eldritch Knight is already the arcane version of that. You should just be that strong.
Yeah. And psionics are just like, oh, you can do telekinesis melee based. Like your mind shields you and your mind can attack. You don't have spells.
Yeah, just giving giving him arcane spells is just a shot to the nuts to the Eldritch Knight.
Yeah. If you want to play spellcasting fighter, play Eldritch Knight.
Yeah.
Or take the
not with
Eldritch Knight,
but
man.
not with full wizard progression, please.
Let's check out Eldritch Knight. At level 3, you get 3 spells.
Like at this point, just run it rules as written.
Okay, at level 20 for Eldritch Knight, you have 13 spells prepared.
Oof, and that's only up to level 4.
Yeah, you get 1 4th level spell slot. This guy had what? 16 level 9 spell slots in theory.
I don't know if he had level 9 yet.
He could use them at
Theoretically.
any level. Like, that he could cast, is what they said. So, 16 of his max spell slots, depending on what level he was.
Like this is definitely a case of the DM playing favorites.
Yeah, no.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm trying to homebrew some subclasses for Cleric, Paladin, and Warlock for a campaign I'm going to hopefully run at some point. And it's like, one of them's going to be like a blood-based. We're like, yeah, you can spend your hit points to upcast another level without using that level spell slot. But it's gonna be a lot of hit points to upcast.
Mm-mm.
You don't...
Okay. That is just outlandish.
Yes.
Like, the math ain't mathin' for that DM and that player.
The buffs to the other characters, I would say, are pretty okay. Monk to Ranger, if that player wanted that, then yes, that's fine.
That is hilarious to me, though, when we're talking about, yeah, let's buff people, and that's just switching standard classes for standard class.
Yeah. But if that's what the player wanted, that's what the player wanted, and... yeah.
Alright.
But that guy should not have gotten buffs, since that's what they were all complaining about.
But
There is no, like, follow-up to what happened with that campaign.
Oh, that's upsetting.
But is it really a buff when it goes from monk to ranger?
Depending on what type of monk you're playing, you are already playing a ranger with a druid subclass. If you're playing like that one that uses weapons and whatnot, you're already playing a ranger.
I mean, then it's just going from suboptimal to standard.
Yeah.
That's not a buff. That's just equalizing.
Yeah.
All right, next one. All right. This is where you got to wonder, what is the player thinking? And what would you do if this was one of your players?
Oh,
An acquaintance of mine wanted to join my D&D campaign. And the other players didn't mind, so we took him in. I told him that the tone was serious and asked him for a character idea. So, all right, first off, you're a player. You're interested in playing this game. They're like, all right, you can join. Here's what we're doing. What character would you like to make? What are you doing?
The serious character for a serious tone, yeah.
Yeah, you respect the game. This is what the game is. This is what you would be joining.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so he
I'm not
suggested a
gonna play
halfling
Blood
thief who had to leave his Shire-like location because nobody would put up with his stealing anymore. Sounded fine enough, though when we started playing, it turned out he didn't mention that his thief is blind and terrible at stealing.
That's funny, but not if it's a serious campaign. Why?
I told him that's a joke character and that he can't be blind. So he played him with sight for one session, then wanted to switch characters.
Fair enough.
Okay, so if you were the DM, how do you unfuck the character in a way that would still be fun for the player?
Give him blindsight, maybe?
That is exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are not completely useless, but there's still a lot of things you can't do, like read or tell colors, texture. You could say you can't see faces, but you're not dragging shit down by being useless.
Yeah. That's a good balancing thing.
Well, yeah, and and then it's up to the player. Are they willing to accept that concession?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wanted to switch characters. I found that agreeable, and he said that he would play a wizard who had been basically kidnapped as a child by an evil wizard who wanted a student, but had run away from abuse.
Serious, yeah. Maybe a bit too serious for some campaigns, but
Yeah. Then the next session, it turned out that his wizard was somehow illiterate.
Oh, fucking course.
you're not playing a wizard, you're playing a sorcerer.
True. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, so that's how you would unfuck the character, just tell him, no, you're a sorcerer.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, why not?
You can be illiterate, but you're a sorcerer now.
Like an
Here's
illiterate
my
guy
concession.
who thinks he's like an illiterate guy who thinks he's a wizard, but actually he just wills it into existence.
Okay, here's how I would unfuck the character. You can keep the illiterate. You can still be a wizard. Your spell book is a picture book.
Oh.
Either that or it's just runes. You use runes.
Doodles. You can understand what you did. No one else can.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you also can't read scrolls.
Yeah, you can't use scrolls, you can't steal other wizards' spell books.
But like, you got your spell book and you got your crayons.
Yeah.
You can run that character in a serious game.
I imagine his fireball is just like a manual of stick figures throwing
Exactly.
red bludges.
Or hell, it could even be like abstract.
Yeah, fireball. You just scribble in the air with the red crayon and throw it at someone.
And it makes sense to him.
Yeah, it makes sense to you.
It would be hilarious, but it would still be functional.
Yeah.
True.
All right, but dude is now 0 for 2
Yeah.
for appropriate characters. So if you're the DM, are you giving him one last chance?
I'm
I
giving
give
him
him
one
one
last
last
chance, but I'm sitting with him as he's making the character, and we're going through everything.
I mean, it's pretty clear this player wants to play a gimmick.
Yeah, and that's fine. I've made gimmick characters. Grundle, my goblin artificer warlock. He doesn't speak common. He doesn't speak common. The thing is, he'll understand it, but he can't talk to his party. However, he can build a small healing turret and summon a demon at the same time.
Cool. All right. So I told him that's still a joke character. He can't be illiterate. So he wanted to switch again. A dwarf fighter. I thought I'd be cautious and asked him if there was anything debilitating about this character, and he said no.
He can't see blood. Let me guess. He either can't see blood, is a pacifist, or he has no fucking arms.
Okay, so there wasn't anything debilitating.
Oh,
So we played again. Turns out his dwarf fights with a sword that's 2.5 meters long by spinning around like a Beyblade.
Okay, that passes though.
that
There's nothing debilitating. He's still useful. But that's funny.
he's a walking AOE. What the fuck?
Oh man, you would rack up exhaustion so fast.
Yeah, you would. You would. But it's funny. It for campaigns that I would run, that would work.
But you're doing a serious campaign. Like, nah. Dude refuses to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. From that on out, I wouldn't allow him to make another character, to be honest.
Yeah, at this point, I told him that he won't fit into our campaign and asked him to leave, which kind of ended the acquaintanceship too. So, dude's just stopped hanging out with you.
Yeah.
His choice. His loss.
Yeah, like, why did you even ask to join if you're not... Okay. If you asked to join, like, a friend group's weekly Monopoly game, and you're like, if you never roll the dice, you never lose, and just refuse to take your turn, you'll never run out of money, but also they will boot you from the game for not playing the game that they're playing.
Yeah.
True.
Like playing Texas Hold'em and then yelling "Go Fish" in the middle.
Like, you're not... Why did you want to join their game if you're not going to play what the game is?
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler for this one. There is this weird red flag. Every time I see it pop up, oh, this is gonna go bad.
Okay.
And it's somebody who is a fan of Warhammer 40K getting into D&D.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm in Warhammer servers.
No offense to Artie.
Yeah.
Because he keeps that shit separate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of Warhammer, but I played D&D first, so.
Okay. About 3 months ago, I started playing D&D with some acquaintances from the local game shop. The DM and I had actually played Magic the Gathering together. What happened to Jake?
I was just drinking.
Oh, okay. He was a creative type and decided to homebrew a new campaign from the ground up The campaign was to be a mishmash of different themes colliding due to the convergence of the realms. He wanted us to kind of run with creativity as well, so he told us we could create our own homebrew races and classes.
Okay.
No.
Could be broken. Would definitely need like DM approval, but yeah.
Yep. He would review them to make sure they weren't OP, but he wanted us to go nuts with the creativity, and he would build the world around that. So, collaborative world building.
Has been done. Could go well, could go horrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were 4 of us playing, me, 3 other guys. Guy number 1 creates a dinosaur race based on Triceratops and makes him a druidic savage, which is sort of like a mix between druid and barbarian.
Honestly, I'd play that.
Guy 2 makes a Cthulhu spawn, which
What?
ended up being similar to a Mind Flayer.
Okay.
His class was called a Dimensional Fiend, low AC, dark powers, a little bit of healing spells.
So kind of like a warlock.
Yeah. Then I made a character that was pretty much a ripoff of Spider-Man, but blue-skinned and with multiple limbs.
Man Spider.
Yeah.
Then we have that guy.
Ow.
He was a guy we saw in the shop occasionally who was super into collecting D&D and Warhammer 40k minis. He said his race was Aryan.
What? Can you repeat that real quick?
Yeah.
With how much Nazi references are in Warhammer, I'm pretty sure I know where this is from.
Like, Warhammer is like a cautionary tale, if anything, not
Yeah. The amount of people that glorify Warhammer is concerning.
He then min-maxed, more like max-maxed, the hell out of his racial stats in order to, in his words, make the most genetically superior version of a human I can.
Which in Warhammer is a thing, but not balanced for D&D.
No. He also homebrewed an Alpha Warrior class, which was supposed to capture the warrior spirit of a true Aryan male.
I'm disappointed in this guy.
We broke Jake. Oh man, be glad you were not around for episode 1's Nazi.
But I watched that episode and I laughed my ass off. But I feel bad for my genetics now.
As he was describing it, we all just looked at each other like, what the fuck? And after a moment of silence, the DM says, we're not doing that.
Good on the DM. Good on the DM.
That guy then said, why the hell not? It's an interesting concept. You said we could homebrew anything so long as it's not OP. And side note, it was very OP.
Yeah, and very. You maxed.
I have theories. One,
Yeah.
he might honestly have not thought it was OP, because in his mind, he's just making it what it would be in real life, and that's not OP, that's realistic.
Yeah. And like Warhammer is very heavy on like buffs and whatnot. Like people are very strong in that game.
And if I were giving him more credit than he deserves, I might have thought he was doing it as a gotcha.
Yeah.
As a gotcha?
By that I mean he makes this the way an Aryan alpha male would be in his mind, and so he thinks it's not OP, it's realistic. But if you're saying it's OP, then you're admitting that the Aryan race is superior.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't think he was that smart or Machiavellian.
Where's his tattoos? Where are they?
That. Okay, so the DM said, oh, okay. Why the hell not? It's an interesting concept. You said we could homebrew anything so long as it's not OP. And the DM said, I think you know why I'm not going to allow that homebrew.
Yeah.
Not even engage. Like, no, you know why we're not doing it.
No. Why don't you tell me? Tell me. Why not? My race isn't okay.
Okay, and then that guy tried to say, it's okay if you disagree with the racial theories behind the concept, just treat him like a joke character.
That's not a joke character.
No, we're not going to let the Nazis sit at the bar counter. I don't care how nice you are. Get the fuck out. Like, if there was a joke to be had, it's that his stats are all actually 3, and the DM has his real sheet behind the screen.
Yeah.
But even then, you do not invite Nazis to the table. They do not deserve a seat or part of the discussion.
An actual German approves of this message.
The DM just said, look, maybe this game isn't for you. I really hate to be the dick who says no to a character concept, but I am not allowing this.
Yep. That's
The
what you do.
player said, fine, I'll just play with my dumbass brothers another fucking campaign.
You go do that. You go play it there, too.
Cool.
Go figure, the only people who will tolerate the Nazi are more fucking Nazis.
Yeah.
Then he pouted and stomped off and left the game store, never saw the guy again, and they got 2 new players, and they're great.
Oh yeah. Happy end.
Yeah. There are so many Nazi stories, there will be one every episode.
Yay.
Okay, last one, and this is a long one.
Okay.
Okay. Alright. So the OP found his D&D buddies early on in college. This takes place in their senior year, and they just got a new player, and they're playing at his house. The asshole in the story was a new addition to our group and was initially kind of a ride the line type of player who was quick to violence and a bit, giant all caps, bit of a sex fiend. But again, he always kind of rode the line without crossing it. And we played at his house.
Yeah.
Mallow has never crossed the line. He's gotten goddamn close.
He's got very goddamn close.
Like pointing out Kiki's cloaca while she was in dragon form.
Jesus.
I mean,
Don't remind me of that.
it was out there. She was in dragon form. He didn't do anything. Just like, hey, there it is.
Yes, but still.
Yeah, that is the worst
Is it a
thing
bit-
he's ever done.
Is it a bit much? Yeah. Should it have happened? Probably not.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
It was visible. She was in her dragon form. Okay. That is until about a year ago when we started up our current campaign. It's a classic post-apocalyptic campaign, but with fire zombies and demons taking over. The aforementioned, the new player that they just met their senior year, he's probably freshman, discovered drinking and started getting wasted at our sessions.
I think I know that story.
He was playing as a hobgoblin warlock and got more and more belligerent with NPCs until he got himself killed by an inquisitor that he tried to threaten with his eldritch powers.
Well, at least he got killed.
Yeah. He got pretty pissed off and tried to argue with the DM about why he should have survived. He ended up leaving for a couple sessions before coming back.
Okay.
So, character died because he was doing dumb shit, won dumb prizes.
Yeah, fuck
Gone
around.
for a while, came back. Alright, so he rolls up a new character. A Terrafolk barbarian. Terrafolk as in pterodactyl.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
He was now a straight-up murder hobo.
Oh, fuck.
Learned nothing but rage. Who worshipped Khorne and Slaanesh.
More Warhammer.
I was about to say, wasn't Slaanesh Warhammer?
Yeah,
Khorne is the kind of Chaos God of War, and Slaanesh is the NSFW one.
and they are very not compatible. One wants to kill everything, the other wants to corrupt everything, and they're like,
Yeah.
so why would you got to be a serious edgelord to worship either one in the wrong goddamn game, but it's a whole other level to say, oh no, I worship both gods that hate each other.
I want to corrupt and kill.
They're just not compatible.
So, God. Warhammer. He ended up getting revenge on the Inquisitor who killed his last character before eating his flesh.
Nice.
His next act of murder was a noblewoman who refused to allow us to enter the keep with our weapons. So he made a scene and started hacking and slashing when the guards tried to intervene. They could enter, just they had to give up their weapons, and he's like, nah. Overreaction. This forced our party to end up fleeing a town as fugitives, so we threatened to kill him if he does that in our next destination.
Wait, who threatened who right now?
Okay, so they tried to enter an area that they could go if they gave up their weapons. He did not want to give up his weapon, and so killed a noblewoman, bunch of guards. Had to run out of town. The party is telling him, you do this shit again, we'll kill you.
Oh, okay.
As the party typically would.
Yeah.
Fair. When we get there, he somewhat tones down his belligerent behavior. But when we get to a bar, his character is drunk, and so is he.
Ah, fuck.
And I mean really drunk. More so than we had ever seen him. They're playing at his house, I remind you. A barmaid came and told our party that we were cut off, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
If the character's already drunk. So the Terrafolk barbarian said, "No, I want more beer, god damn it." She still refused. Naturally.
Yeah.
So he accused her of being a spy for the BBEG.
What? That's murder hobo logic for you.
Drunk murder hobo.
Drunk murder hobo, even better.
She then tells him to get the hell out before I call the guards. He's digging a goddamn hole for himself.
I think he dug it almost to the core of the earth by now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Telling the barmaid, while you are drunk and she is cutting you off, which is the right thing to do. Oh my god. Okay. He then gets creepy and says, "You're kind of sexy. I bet you get a lot of guys in here who just can't control themselves around you. What's your body count?"
No, you're done at the table.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
find
it.
somewhere else to play.
She then calls the
We're going
guards.
to another house.
Yeah. She then calls the guards, like she said she would. And the DM once again warns him and says, "Leave or there could be consequences," to the character. Like, this is your chance to remove yourself from that situation. Leave the bar. He disregards the DM again and says, "I grabbed the barmaid's pants and slit my," and I'm going to stop reading the description. You can guess. The DM cuts him off.
to. No.
He pulls a Trump. The DM
The
cuts
fuck
him
did
off.
Trump do?
Oh, I think it was an Access Hollywood interview years and years ago when he was just known for The Apprentice. He's like, "Oh yeah, ladies, you can grab them by the pussy. They just let you do it if you're famous."
I
What?
did not know that.
Gerrymandering's a bitch. DM cuts him off, and he has the guards rush in immediately and surround him. His chance has come and gone.
Yeah.
He once again tells the player, now out of the game, that this is your last chance to leave the bar in peace. The DM is being so generous right now.
Yeah.
Being way too generous.
It's like you have had so many warnings. The player then got pissy and said, "Stop railroading me."
You're not being railroaded, boy.
And then the DM said, "It's not railroading, bro. Your character chose to put himself in this situation. Now take the L and go." And then the player said, "How many guards are there? Like 4, 6 at most? We can take them. I activate Barbarian Rage and swing my axe at the first one to approach me."
I fucking hope that the party did not help him.
Yeah. When he said, "We can take him," You know he did not have the self-awareness
Yeah.
to understand the party is not behind his antics.
That is some. At least he should have some self-awareness to.
Not, he's also drunk and an idiot.
Yeah.
So I said, well, Pterosaur is dead, let's bounce.
But guys, you were supposed to have my back.
Which enraged him. He started calling us cowards and accusing us of metagaming.
It's not metagaming.
Not railroading, not metagaming.
You quit throwing out buzzwords, they're wrong.
And then made the absurd claim that we were not allowed to flee if he wanted to stay and fight. Like, this is the encounter now. We have to play it.
Yeah, you can't tell us shit.
Running away is always an option, and sometimes it's the best option. Especially when one of your party members is an idiot.
He claimed this was a rule and seemed to genuinely believe it. Drunk idiot logic. I guess that's why he thought he could win this fight despite the DM's warnings.
Yeah.
And as a DM, none of his attacks are going to hit, even if he rolls in that 20. It's going to be like,
What?
all right, but they're going to use a reaction and do this and deflect your attack.
You're way
Well, the
too
DM
you're way too intoxicated to hit anything. You're
Yeah.
barely able to stand.
Oh, look, you just pissed yourself.
Roll a con
vomit.
save before you swing that one. Oh, that's a failure. You have disadvantage.
You keep trying to hit on the barmaid, but then you realize you can't get it up anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the DM obviously let us flee, and the guards made short work of the sex pest of a pterosaur.
Hell yeah. Nice.
There was a moment of awkward silence as the players started seething, and then just said, fuck you, this is the second fucking character of mine you killed, asshole. As if both deaths weren't his fault.
Yeah.
DM then said, stop being a baby. I gave you, like, so many warnings, it's crazy. Player then screamed in the DM's face, you tricked me into this!
Wow.
Reverse psychology, you know.
DM then got up and got stern and said, look, actions have consequences.
But every time a DM tells me to not do something, I have to do it. It's logical.
Yeah. It's in the rule book.
The player then said, oh, what a vapid statement. Actions have consequences. What the fuck does that even mean?
It means fuck around and find out.
I can guess his logic, and that he is playing a different game.
Yeah.
What?
Everyone else is playing a story. He's playing a power fantasy.
Yeah.
That could be true, yeah.
Like, he was just not on the same page as everyone else, and also drunk. So, like, he's trying to get with the barmaid, but the barmaid is like, you are a goddamn creep. And it's not going along with what he wants out of the game. so he gets belligerent. He then stormed out, then came back to the living room where we were all playing. Oh, about to get a puzzle piece. Have to do that. All right. He stormed out of the living room, later came back. This is where we were playing. And he was playing with a knife.
Yeah, I'm going home. I forgot
Yeah, I'm not staying there.
Yeah. We all got up and were like, what the fuck? As he started pointing it at the DM, brandishing it, and said, what? Like he said, actions have consequences. You decided to be a dick? What if the consequences was you get stabbed today? See how fucking stupid you sound?
I never fucking called the cops.
He's about to
mess
make
him
a
up.
point, and he's not smart enough to know what point he's about to make.
Yup.
Yeah, he's going to prove actions do, in fact, have consequences.
Yeah.
Stabbing people means prison.
DM just backed up and said, look, we are leaving. You need help. The lunatic then lowered the knife and said, oh, fuck off. You know I'm not really gonna fucking stab you. I'm just trying to prove a point. But we all just left promptly.
The point is you're fucking insane. Get help.
The point is exactly the opposite of the point you were trying to make.
He was trying to make the DM's point, okay?
He just didn't realize it. And we left and never came back. He tried to apologize and blame the booze, even though he never cut back his drinking. We did not let him back to play with us and avoided him in general. He eventually sort of gave up and we just didn't see him again. So yeah, that might have been the craziest thing to happen to me in D&D or in life.
Yeah, D&D is not worth getting stabbed over.
No.
As
Not
fun
at
of a
all.
game as it is, I'm not getting stabbed.
Real life D&D. Every turn you have to attack someone, you have to try to beat up your DM.
Vice versa. Every time you get hit, you have to take a punch.
Okay.
This Henry
So
is
of these
great.
stories, if you had to play a game with all of the problem players here, the DM that was playing favorites, the overpowered person from the DM, the joke player, the Nazi, or knife McStabby person, and you can only boot one person from the table, who are you booting?
The
To be
stab-
honest,
honestly,
I'm booting me.
I mean, that's the right answer. Second place is boot the Nazi. Always boot the Nazi.
To be honest, I would have otherwise booted the knife McStabby person
Yeah.
because
not
D&D is not worth getting stabbed over. I can still punch the Nazi, but I don't mess with someone with a knife.
True. You could appease a person with a knife by, like, going along with their antics.
Yeah.
Then you add in drunk on top of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't appease someone with a knife and a bottle of whiskey in the other hand.
Yeah. So, yeah, immediate danger is the knife.
Yes.
But, yeah, joke player...
Joke
He
player
fit in the campaign with, like, the favorites. The favoritism group.
Yeah.
They could be chill in the right kind of game.
Why do I feel like suddenly in a fun campaign they try to make the most serious edgelord character?
Wait. That is two different things. Serious and edgelord are
Okay.
not the same thing.
Okay, then just a serious character.
If you take serious and add camp, you get edgelord.
Cam?
Okay, you know the Adam West Batman?
No. Dude, I'm 21.
God damn it. I'm trying to think, what is camp nowadays? Because that's the easiest. It's silly, dressed up as serious.
Okay. I can't think of an example of something like that, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I understand.
edgelord. At the core of
understand too,
edgelord is
but I
not
wouldn't-
serious. The core of edgelord is something taken to a ridiculous degree.
Okay, yeah. True.
It is the silly, goofy, dark. You can do serious. If you get stupid with it, you get edgelord.
But in my opinion, sometimes serious and edgelord, the line gets kind of blurry.
Yeah. I
The
see what
main
you're
problem
saying.
with the edgelord is how often they want to be a lone wolf.
Sadly, I know too many I've played with too many people who want to go lone wolf on some bandit camp. And
You don't bring that energy to a collaborative game.
no, you do not. One time I was DMing a new party. No one of us has ever really played D&D, and one player has had no idea of D&D, and I was helping him make his character, and we came to like the loadouts, the starting gear. He told me, "Nah, I don't need that. No starting gear." And, and later on, when we were playing, he was saying, "Yeah, okay, I'm pulling out a torch and start to light." You don't have a torch. You don't have anything to light it. I probably have something in my bag. You don't even have a bag, buddy. You didn't get any starting gear. You don't have nothing on you.
A reminder that traveler's clothes are a part of your starting gear.
I mean, at least on D&D Beyond, you could choose to take gold instead.
Yeah. But then it's expected that you're buying things from the shop before the campaign begins.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I think Lord of the Rings is the best starting point of what D&D is. Just pretend it's Lord of the Rings. Go from there.
He's a big Lord of the Rings fan. He just had no idea of D&D, and I had to tell him multiple times, I'm willing to give you a starting gear. No, I don't need it. I just got these hands. And he was playing a monk, by the way.
Monk,
The most aggressive
weapon,
lone wolf monk I've known.
quarterstaff at least. You can still do all your monk shit with the quarterstaff.
Yes.
The best advice.
But it's so much better with a weapon than without.
The best advice I've heard on how to deal with a lone wolf character is when they start to isolate themselves, talk with the player. Okay, this is what your character wants to do, but role play. What would entice the character to be interested in the party? What is he looking for? And then you can work with the other players, like, okay, what is going on here that interests them? Or, like, is there another character that you have had your eye on and, like, may have been familiar, part of your backstory? Like, what is it that is drawing you to adventure? Just work with the role play. Try to draw them out of their shell.
Yes, but sometimes, most of the times, in my experience, people don't really think about their character and have no answers to any of these questions.
Yeah, you gotta go for the drama, kids.
Like with Teresa for Site 314, there are ways to make her do things. One of them is just Kane. Kane is her superior.
Yeah, robot, follow orders.
Yeah.
Robot, follow.
Yeah, just work with the player to see what the character is looking for. Okay, we have gone on this long enough. I think next session the main co-host will be Kane.
Oh yeah.
If Jake is not here, I will of course clip whatever Nazi segment there is and send it to you.
That sounds worse when you say it out loud.
All right,
What
fine.
the
You can watch
fuck?
the whole episode. It'll be in there somewhere. It's unavoidable. It's inevitably always
But
be
that
one.
is that, like you said it, it lets me sound like a Nazi.
All right. We are done. You can say goodbye.
Let's see.
See ya. Good night.